process that we can practically become humble. That we accept, yeah, this person knows better what's good for me than I do. So that means we have to be humble. Everyone is proud because they think, oh, I know what's best. I know what's best to do. I know what's best for myself. But we've been following that mind since time immemorial, but we haven't made a solution. Therefore, Krishna comes to speak Bhagavad Gita. Same problem. Arjuna was bewildered. Of course, we can say that was his pastime, just to teach us, but still, he was feeling. We see the photo of him there, kneeling in front of Krishna. Krishna's giving blessing. His bow is slipping from his hand. This is actually intelligent, that by the circumstances we should become bewildered. Why people are dying, our friends, we know we have to die, so much upheaval in the world. We should be bewildered. What is going on? What is this world like? Why is it like this? So this should give us impetus to approach and inquire from the bona fide personality who can open our eyes. Om Jnana Timirandasya Janagana Salakayam Chakshus Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave. We want our eyes to be open because of our foolishness. Since time immemorial, we've been wandering up and down this universe. But now, by good fortune, we met the devotees. So we have a chance to come out. So this is one of the important items Rupa Goswami mentions as a principle. Some things are details, but some things are principles. It's like we have a principle. No illicit sex, no gambling, no meat eating. These are principles. No intoxication, we say, 4 principles. So, principle is there also. We should accept spiritual master. Inquire from him, render service to him. Why is that? Because this is Krishna's arrangement. Krishna says, Evam parampara praptam. He is establishing this parampara. So we shouldn't jump over and think that we don't need to accept the principle, the system that Krishna has given. Of course, in ISKCON it's a little unique because everyone has a Shiksha connection with Srila Prabhupada, but still, he wanted us, some of his disciples to initiate, and he said like that, he'll be a disciple of my disciple. But the idea is that that the parampara should go on. The Prabhupada didn't come to stop the parampara. He wanted it to continue, but it's continuing within his institution. And that requires that the gurus especially have to cooperate and have to remain humble, not think that they have authority outside the institution. So this is unique in a sense, at least in the modern day. There has been no organized institution functioning with centers all over the world. So it's our challenge how to make it work at the same time, not to break the principle. The principle is that we have to accept the spiritual master, render service to him. And by his mercy, then we can go forward. So by his mercy, then we get Prabhupada's mercy. Of course, Prabhupada's mercy is open for everyone, but if we really want to take advantage of Prabhupada's mercy, then we'll cooperate with his institution. At least I personally saw that there was a concern for Prabhupada. What would happen after he left the planet? He was concerned about this from the very beginning. 1969, I remember he was in London and talking about forming a GBC and so on. Because he saw what happened to his spiritual master's movement after his spiritual master left, that all the senior sannyasis just created their own branch, and there were so many, dozens of branches, but there was no united preaching. Rather, they were fighting in the courts over the properties and so on. So Prabhupada saw that as a defeat or a failure in one sense. He recognized that they were still preaching. He appreciated that. But still, he saw that the preaching could have been more powerful if they remained united. So because he was worried about that, therefore, he took so much trouble to create a working system that would go on after he left. So this is our challenge, to make it work. And it is a challenge, no doubt. The different authority that we have to deal with, the authority, administrative authority, temple president, GBC body, at the same time, spiritual master. So if we work humbly, cooperatively, then they can be integrated together, and we can have a very strong international society. This is what Prabhupada wanted. He wanted a powerful preaching society that had a discipline and had a leadership. That the president of the country can come and say, "You're the leader of the Hare Krishna movement. We'd like to engage you in this way or that way." Or, "What is your advice on this subject or that subject? We give you this facility," or whatever. Just like we know, our Bhakti Shri Maharaj, the government there in the state of Madhya Pradesh is giving him facility, giving him land and so on. So he was presented as the leader of ISKCON, and he approached them. So if everyone is just individual without any cohesive cooperation, actual institution, then we won't get those kind of facilities. So that was Prabhupada's vision. He wanted to make a big impression on the world, because he knew he had the most valuable thing to give to the world, and they're suffering without it. So anyone who cooperates with Prabhupada, then they'll also become recognized by him, because he was very grateful. I remember the first thing Srila Prabhupada said to me, after I met him, and I hadn't done anything, but the first thing he said was, "Thank you very much." It just came there. I was introduced by Burjan. "This is Bhakta so-and-so from our Buffalo preaching." And immediately Prabhupada was thanking us. So he's a very grateful personality. So if we do something to assist him in his desire to spread this movement all over the world, then certainly he'll be grateful. And if he's grateful, then we can know that Krishna will be grateful. That's a fact. So take advantage of this process. Do something to assist Srila Prabhupada. He was always taxing his brain how to push on this movement. Even into the last days, he was telling Giriraj, "Now if I'm not there when we open the Bombay temple, you should do like this, make prasadam like this, organize like this." This was his mood. He was always concerned about his society would go on nicely after he left. So we all have a connection to that. We can do something. Everyone can do something to assist him. And then Prabhupada will be pleased, and if Prabhupada is pleased, certainly Krishna will be pleased. This is the meaning of Bhakta Vatsal. Krishna is Bhakta Vatsal. He's inclined to his devotees. So if we please his devotee, then he'll be more pleased than if we try to directly approach him. So Srila Prabhupada has kindly opened our eyes to the reality of our existence and the actual philosophy of life. So we're very grateful to him. Therefore, we should assist him, not just take the thing and not repay it. So repaying means that we talk to people about Krishna, we give them our books in some way or another, we engage them Bring them to our festival. Try to get them to read Srila Prabhupada's books. And in that way, we're doing the greatest welfare work. Be confident of that. If you do something substantial for Srila Prabhupada's mission, that will be the greatest welfare, the greatest benefit you can render to the suffering humanity, and you'll be recognized by the Lord and Krishna, by the Lord and Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, any questions? Radha came.
Sorry, madam, I'm late. I got lost.
Yeah, I would have been lost too. But Aditya was our guide. But the doll is okay? We have time.
Maharaj, I have one question. But I chodzi o to, że jeżeli uczeń prawa prawo współpracować, jeżeli uczeń zrywa tą zasadę, zakłada swój ruch, nie współpracuje, nie słucha GBC.
You were saying that one of Prabhupada's commandments was to cooperate. What happens when the disciple breaks this commandment and...
Okay.
He's asking if, one of your God brothers will start his own movement. So what's happened then? Because
No,
Prabhupada
my
asked.
question is, this is like, że to jest taka organizacyjna sprawa, a ja bym chciał spytać z duchowego punktu widzenia, z filozoficznego punktu
He
widzenia.
asking for spiritual point of view.
Czy to jest zerwanie parampara? Bo jak nie wykonujesz rozkazu mistrza duchowego, to jest jakieś organizacyjne, tutaj w Iskonie mówię.
No, it's a question of what degree of the mercy you'll get. Like, we're confident that Prabhupada got 100% of mercy from his spiritual master. Otherwise, how could he have done what he did all over the world? So, then, mercy is there. Anyone who can maintain their vow throughout their life, anybody who is preaching, they're getting mercy. But whether 100% or that has to be seen. That's between the spiritual master and the disciple. Bhaktisiddhanta will decide how much mercy he'll give to them. But there's no injustice there. Or Srila Prabhupada will decide. It's not that they won't get any mercy, but whether they get full mercy. We're interested in getting full mercy. And how do we do that? Prabhupada said, my only success is I took the order of my spiritual master as my life and soul. So Prabhupada's order is there for all of us in ISKCON to cooperate together, to push on this movement. Very clear, he told us that, last thing. So if we do that, then we can hope to get full mercy. If we decide not to cooperate, we can still get mercy, but whether we get full mercy, that might not be possible. But that's between Prabhupada. We don't have to worry about that. Prabhupada, there's no cruelty, there's no injustice. But we find that cooperating together is the greatest pleasure. Although it's the biggest challenge, but we were able to meet that challenge, then we find great satisfaction. Isn't it? Even you're able to cooperate with me. I'm Aborigine, American. So it gives you satisfaction, right? To see. Even such an Aborigine I can cooperate with. And I also feel, even these sentimental Bengalis I can cooperate with. So when we're able to actually cooperate because we're putting Prabhupada in the center, then there's great satisfaction. And we can do something, that's when something wonderful can come out. Otherwise, on our own, what can we do? Okay, that's a good question. Okay, we'll do a little bhajan while we're waiting.